Hi everybody, today I'm going to talk about the Nissan Leaf, and this is the Nissan Leaf 2013. This is the SV trim. I've had this car for 3 months. Frankly, I just got it out of curiosity. I wanted to experience the electric car experience, and I thought that if I didn't like it, I would just sell it and make a review and see what comments I get for it. So if you look at this car outside, the exterior, I think it's a very nice looking car. For its size, I think it's kind of handsome. I have this white pearl color, which by the way is a pain to fix because the paint is like two-tone. I forgot to close this. This is another thing. Keep forgetting to close the lid for the plug. And in any case, let me talk about the pluses and minuses of owning this car. But first, let's take it to a spin, and you can hear I'll talk about what I think about the ride quality. Okay, so one thing I really like about this car, and most Nissans actually, is that they have a very, very, very tight turn. I can turn on a dime with this, and let me tell you, that's one of the fun aspects of a good city car. Another thing that I really like about this car is that the gauges are very visible regardless of if there's sunlight going directly at them. It's very hard to tell from filming this because I can see on the screen that it's not showing up. But our eyes can see the screen way better than what the camera can see for some reason. I'm not sure. So whatever you're seeing right now on the screen is not a correct interpretation of what we would see from our eyes. One thing I will mention is that the 0-30 is really, really zippy. That's really, you can go from 0 to 30 really quick. Then it flattens out. From 30 to 60, it's kind of sluggish. So I'm going to start this very soon. Just going to make sure that there's no other cars next to me in the back. And then I'm going to get started. All right, so I just stepped on the pedal. And 54, 56, 60. So according to this, it took it 12 seconds to get to 60. I think it was a little faster. It didn't feel that slow. But again, from 0 to 30, it's really, really quick. And that's one aspect of this car that I like. When I got the car, I expected it to be quieter. People always say how quiet electric cars are. But you know, I do tend to feel like there's a lot of road noise and noise from the bottom of the car that adding an engine wouldn't make a bigger difference out of it. Let me tell you what I'm happy about this car. I'm happy about the Bluetooth. The Bluetooth works extremely well. You just connect you start any app on my Android, and you can change tracks easily. You get all the meta information like the song name and all that stuff, and it connects every single time. I've never had an issue with the Bluetooth, which is nice because for some reason a lot of companies have not figured out how to use it. The other thing that I like about this car is that when you let go of the acceleration pedal, if you're in braking mode, you can basically just really use the brakes less and just pretty much use most of the time just the acceleration pedal. It makes for a fun experience. You don't have to keep switching between the brake pedal and the gas pedal. I will say that after taking it for service, I felt that they reduced the regenerative braking abilities in braking mode, and it doesn't decelerate as fast as it did before. I have a few theories about it, or really just one theory. The theory is that it could cause an accident when you let go on the acceleration pedal and the cars in the back don't see that you are actually braking with the brake light. They could have fixed that by just sensing how quick you let go on the acceleration pedal and turning on the brake light. But I guess they didn't want to do it, or it brings up other issues. When I got this car, I had 1 bar of battery missing. So that was about 3 months ago. 2 months later, I lost another bar. And I gotta tell you, this is pretty much devastating, because I feel like it would be really hard to sell the car at this point with two bars missing. Now the warranty will only cover the battery if it lost 4 bars, only in the 5 years, 60,000 miles range. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm gonna try to sell the car because, frankly, there's quite a lot of minuses that go to owning this car and not having another car as a backup. And I'm not married, so if I had another partner that had a car, a regular car, and we could go and take the other car for long trips, that would be great. The range of this car wouldn't matter, because when I go on my daily business, I usually drive 30 miles, no more. I've noticed that maintaining 2 cars is just not feasible. So I prepared a list of items that I believe will reflect my sense of what I liked about this car and what I didn't. I liked it very much that I never have to stop at a gas station. Every few days I just plug it in my garage and that's it. I don't have to worry about getting gas. It is cheaper, even with the gas prices these days, and I'll just mention it right now, it's at $2.2 per gallon. It is still cheaper to use electric, and it's about, I would say, half price. Another plus is that there's no oil changes. That is something I don't miss, going for oil changes. So in addition to that, there's very little maintenance. I did replace the air filter cabin, which was a real pain to change. It's underneath this. You have to take this glove compartment box, and it wasn't an easy task, but it's doable. So I would suggest don't use the dealer for that, because the filter was like $12, and if you go to the dealer, that would be like 70 or so. But it was a lot of work. Another plus that I like about it is that you can start the car at the garage. You don't have to worry about fumes in the morning. I can have the car warm. And as it turned out, this winter is ridiculous. It's 60 degrees out, and it should be like freezing and all snowy outside, but good weather. Another plus is that it's green. It doesn't use fossil fuel. And some would say, well, you use electricity, which uses coal. But on the other hand, many households do have an option to buy all their electricity renewable electricity. I do. So it comes from, I guess, Niagara Falls. And so you could go green and renewable energy if you wanted to. Another plus that I really liked about this car is that it has instant torque. The 0 to 30 is very torquey. I can pretty much speed up any car, unless it's like a Tesla or like a sport car. Off the line, I could pretty much be in front of them. Also, I found that the seats in this car are very comfortable. At least the front seats, they're very comfortable. They're made out of this suede type. And they're firm but very comfortable. As with my other car, I have a Nissan Sentra, and I found that they both have very comfortable seats. I wish there was a better angular adjustment option. It's perfectly fine. I feel that it's very comfortable. In the front of the car, everything that you touch is soft touch. This is fabric, this is soft, this is hard. So everything you put your hands on will be soft touch. All the front is plastic, hard plastic, which I've noticed that makes the car rattle more if there's any bumps or sort of other things. And that's why I believe soft touch is very important for the front panels as well, because as the car ages, it will make rattles less likely. This is the instrumental panel, and as you can see, I've lost 2 bars there, and yeah, kind of upsetting. The left side shows the temperature of the battery. I'm not sure why you need an entire gauge just for that. They should have just made like a warning or something. The front information center, you can change pages according to what you want. So this is my average miles per kilowatt hour. This is how much battery is left, average speed, distance driving, how many hours I've driven, and then it goes back to the charging mode and how long it takes to charge. And this is, by the way, a great way to know if the car you're buying has a 6 kilowatt charging abilities on board. If the car didn't, it wouldn't have that top 6 kilowatt line. One more minus that I have, and this one is a huge one, huge. This car has a ton of A-pillar blind spot. The A-pillars are huge, absolutely monstrous, and together with this side one and the little window, it really is a big, huge blind spot. I've had multiple times where I thought that there was no car at that corner, and then I was like, whoa, there's a car. I know, and sometimes I like wonder, how did someone not notice me? I guess they had this type of blind spot, because this is crazy, really. This is way too much. And if you're driving and a car is coming from, say, your right at a T-juncture, and both of you move at the same blind spot, you will not see it. And this blind spot is just hideous. The back view is okay. Obviously there's some blind spots there, but they're fairly well mitigated by these nice mirrors. I wish they were a little longer, but they're nice and tall. Okay, so right now I'm gonna show you the back seats and talk about the pluses and minuses that I can think of from the back perspective. All right, so this is the back, and what you will notice is that the floor of the car, especially in the back seats, is much higher than the front. That's bad for adults, but it is great for kids because their feet does reach the ground easily. Another thing that I like is that these clips, they're easy to reach and they're not buried in. There's this area where there's this hump, and I'm not sure why they put it there, because underneath there, I'm not sure why they need this. I guess there's some stuff that they had to put here, but I feel like they could have made it much shallower. Other than that, I believe there's a good space in the back of the seats for other adults to sit, and this is my seat adjusted. I'm 6'1", and there's plenty for someone to sit in the back, as you can see. There is no handrest in this one, but the seats do split 40-60. Now let me show you the trunk. I believe the trunk is very nice and big, and because the seats go all the way here, you can really stack up stuff if you wanted to. There's these bulges here that are, I guess, part of the shocks, but it's a nice deep trunk, and I feel that it's big enough for most tasks. Another thing that I like is when you close it, you don't have to be, you could just close it and not worry about the hood hitting you. So nice in that respect. Now one more thing I wanted to show you is what comes under the hood. This is what you see under the hood. I guess there's a few fans that are going right now for the air conditioning. But while I was surprised, I actually thought that I would see less under the hood, but there's a lot of stuff going. There's the 12-volt battery, and that's about it. Let me also show you charging port. So to get to the charging port, you could either long press a button on the remote fob or just click here, and that opens it on only if the car is off. So let me turn off the car. So let me open the trunk. You're gonna hear it. And opened. So the model I have has the 6.6 kilowatt charger, which is the normal EV charging port, as well as the DC charging port, which is for 480 volts DC, I believe, and it lets you charge the car to 80% within 30 minutes, which is pretty quick. I've never used it, and I believe it was only used one time. There's also a nice light here that will shine the port, so if it's dark out, you will see where to put it. I do believe that putting a latch with a button is really unnecessary. They should have made it so that you can close it and click again to open it. I really don't see the point. What would happen if somebody could actually just press on it and open it when they wanted to? In fact, I find it quite the hassle to click the button when you forget to do it when you get out of the car. Now let's talk about ergonomics. I feel the ergonomics here is very nice. Everything is within reach. I like this layout for the air conditioner. I like the layout for the buttons to access things in the car. Also, let me talk about placements of buttons for the heating. So the heating buttons are here for high, low. There's only 2 settings, and they're manual, so it's physical buttons. I wish they were digital, so you could actually set that in the app as well. So each side has it. Another thing is when the power's off, you don't get 12 volts out of the lighter plug. So what I did, I put a very big capacity battery pack here so I can have stuff that I want keep running when the car is off. The back seat's heating is done by this switch on the back, and unfortunately they only put it on one side, so this controls the heating for both seats in the back. I think it's quite the waste. You know, they should have made it 2 zones. They should have made this switch on this side as well. This instrument of buttons is as follows. This will heat the steering wheel if you have it equipped. This will turn off stability control. I'm not sure why would you do that. This will open the front electric port if the car is off. This will automatically lock the port when you lock the car, and this will actually lock it regardless. And the reason you want that is that if you have the portable charger and you plug it in and you don't want people to steal it, you can lock it there. It's not very secure, so I find it kind of you know, it's there, but it's not secure at all. This button lets you start charging automatically regardless of what kind of timing you put in the system. So let me show you how this thing works with Bluetooth. So as you can see, it's connected, and I'll just put Spotify on. So the play and the pause does work from the panel, and there's really no difference between the play and the pause. The pause will, I guess there is for Spotify, but for my other app it didn't matter. But as you can see, all the meta information shows up really nicely on it. I wish there was the art of the song, but that's not a big deal. Also, I noticed that with Android and most Bluetooth systems, the songs will start automatically playing when you start the car. Sometimes I find it annoying. Sometimes I find it, yeah, that's actually nice. But it's a really easy reach to pause it if you wanted to. Now, what if you move to a different menu? Say you move to the map, and you wanted to move back to that display where you can see what's playing. The only thing you need to do is press on the city auxiliary button here, and it will go back to this location, which is very nice. I didn't realize that before. I was wondering how to get back to that previous screen, but that's how you do it. As far as convenience stuff, there's a lot of comfort and convenience stuff that you can set in this car, which is nice, but I believe it only comes with like the tech package, so check to see if it comes in your car. One more thing is, I really have to complain about the new app that they released for this car. They had a dedicated app to control the charging, the climate control, and they just updated it like a month ago, and they screwed it up. It's horrible. It's barely usable. It's very unresponsive, and I feel that they should bring up the old app. And I wasn't that happy with the old app, but the new one is really unusable. What else? Eco mode. I would suggest anybody buying this car to never ever touch this eco mode. It really numbs the car. It makes it so much not fun to drive. This eco mode should not be here. It really is horrible, and I frankly don't think it adds much to the range. So right now I have 46. If I click the eco mode, it adds 2 miles. That's so not worth it. I mean, really, it makes the car feel like it has 70% less horsepower than what it has without pressing the eco mode. Total waste of button area. And frankly, if somebody driving this car, test driving it with the eco on, I would think they wouldn't buy the car because it feels so sluggish. You know, as with all my videos, I will post extra comments in the description area. So if I forget about it, if I have something to add later on, then look up in the description. But one more thing that I wanted to mention is the real litmus test is, would I buy this car again? And the answer is no, I wouldn't. There are quite a few minuses to this car. One is the range. 2, the battery degrades. So I'm okay now. I don't drive more than 60 miles a day, so I'd be okay anyway. But what happens in 5 years? What happens when I only have 30 miles left on the car? Getting a new battery pack or refurbishing the battery pack would be extremely expensive. Another thing is that is a minus. This car is not for everybody. You need a place to charge it. You need a dedicated place to charge it. While a lot of people in suburbia have garages and they can charge it, if you live in an apartment complex, you might not be able to get this car. So in a sense, it really lowers the market for the secondhand buyers. And I feel that you would have a hard time selling it. One more thing that I wanted to mention is, while people think there's no maintenance on electric vehicle cars, there's plenty of maintenance or stuff that could go wrong. Many mechanical stuff like fans, heat exchange, the AC system, suspension, shocks, wheel bearings, just the whole rigidity of the car, the chassis, rust. There's a whole lot going to a car besides the engine and transmission. I feel that these days engine and transmissions are very, very reliable. In fact, I would suggest that they're more reliable than a battery pack. Another thing that I wanted to mention as far as maintenance and how people say that it's much cheaper to maintain an electric vehicle car. Sure, that could be the case in the short term when the battery is good and everything's good and there's no serious mechanical issues with the car, like the suspension and all that stuff. But when you do get an issue, the only place you're going to be able to get it serviced probably would be the dealership. And the dealership would charge you a hefty price to take it there, as opposed to a conventional car that most regular mechanics would accept and service it. Another thing I wanted to mention is how I feel this car drives. I mean, the driving dynamics. I feel that this car has pretty nice handling. It corners very well. It really does feel like a normal car, and I would say it has above average road handling. Now, what I don't like about the road handling of this car is that sometimes over bumps it's a little too harsh, and sometimes you go over bumps, you can feel the chassis creaking and other creaks that comes from the plastic. So this is now my battery fully charged. You can see it's showing 83 miles range, but really I would say it's about 60. This gauge way overestimates. So in conclusion, I would say that while it's a nice car, while it really handles great, drives great, I believe the economics of this car just doesn't work out when you think about what happens when the battery degrades, say, to 30% of what's left. If that was an old car that was, say, 8 years or 10 years, you would still be able to use it. On the other hand, in this car, you would have to spend quite a good amount to get the battery pack either fixed or replaced, and I bet you that's in the thousands. I bet you it's more than an engine and a transmission combined. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please thumb up, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Till next time, bye.